here at our 70-star league on the Global Speedrun Association Twitch channel. I'm Electric here commentating the Heisenburger versus JJsrl match. This one should be a pretty hype one. These players pretty comparable, the mid-top tier players. Heisen known for being a 120-star runner as of late. JJ, of course, known for Sunshine, but kind of dabbles in this game and, might be good. Might be pretty decent. And we can see both of them 10 and 11 on the standings side by side with an exact same record, 1 and 4. One of them is going to be walking away 2 and 4, the other 1 and 5. Only time will tell which will be in which position. As these players getting ready to go ahead and get started, just checking their files, checking their last little bit of movement in the courtyard as we're about to get started with this one. This is a pre-recorded matchup. My commentary is all live, but this match occurred at some earlier time. The runners met up and did a no reset race as they would live. And here we go. We'll get the feeds synced up in just a moment. Hello, Jornka. Chat is from the future. That is correct, EBM. All right, both players on the optimal English version. Oddly enough, for this specific category, English is the most optimal version. On average, a text box on English takes 9 frames to scroll, whereas on JP it actually takes 11 frames. It's some number about there. JP might actually be 12, but anyway, because of that, even though English does have slightly more text boxes, for every about 4 or 5 text boxes that English has over JP, it gets canceled out by the time save from scrolling each box. And so that time save ends up adding up. And over the course of this specific run, where we're not encountering other JP-specific time saves, that text box makes enough of a difference that we actually save 2 to 3 seconds over the course of the run. You were wondering if I was going to show up. Okay. And both players going with that nice kick to the right Lakitu skip setup. Nice and easy. Sets up the camera really cleanly. Only loses like 1/10 of a second. Really nice stuff. And so now, going through to BOB, heading on into bomb clip. Hopefully no issues with this. Heisenburger notably has some issues with bomb clips sometimes. You're willing to bet that I win this race. We'll just have to see. And both players looks like with a medium bomb. Heisenburger with a really quick backflip to put himself in a very, very slight lead. And so now, more than likely, both players heading into slide. If you go to Wom's Fortress right now, you're kind of doing more so a PB attempt route, but both players going right to the slide. This saves a second over going to Wom's now. Decisive lead, in your opinion. We'll just have to see about that. And now, both players headed into the Princess's Secret slide, this little secret area she managed to hide from Bowser. Get those guesses out in chat. I think we're going to see a 12-7 on both sides. Looked like Heisen was a little bit later on the pound, and JJ got a little bit better of a rebound. I'm probably going to be wrong on JJ's side. A 12-6 for JJ, but a 12-7 for Heisen. Nice. And Heisen going a little bit past the start, but a nice quick backup. You can see they're so close together that little time loss from not grabbing the star on the rollout is actually costing Heisen what looks like a pretty decent amount. But now we move on into Womps, where we're going to see the first real time losses of the run. We'll see what these players decide to start with. It really just depends on the player, whether you start with Cannonless, Owlless, or 100 coin. Most players will start with Cannonless or Owlless, though, and we'll be able to tell once they start getting up the slope here. And so JJ going for Owlless first. Heisen with Cannonless first. Kind of an awkward missed rollout there, so... But he was able to back it up really, really cleanly. It didn't really mess with his positioning on the slope or anything. He was able to just pick right back up and go ahead and complete his long jump. It can be weird doing that long jump with no speed, but he managed to make it work pretty well. So, and gets Cannonless with the full setup. No OG as EBM9 is requesting. As JJ also gets Owlless. And goes ahead and heads on through 100 coin, doing the full movement, but not the pro movement. So for the 100 coin setup, this midsection here can be done in one of 2 separate routes. JJ gets that kick up to the next level there. Nice. So you can either do the full route where you just start out with the ring of 8 down right underneath where JJ is now, or you do the pro route where you actually start with the line over to the right. And that does save a little bit of time on your ending, but it makes hitting that wooden platform cycle a lot harder. And so JJ playing it nice and conservative, and Heisen as well, actually. This is really the smart play to do in a race. You actually see Punkation even do stuff like this pretty often in a race. Because with the pro movement, making just a slight like error in your movement, not even like a full-on mistake, can actually cost you enough time to where you can't really hit that cycle. Oh, Heisen missing the wall kick though, so that's going to make his movement a little awkward here, but he's not losing too much time, maybe a second or two. JJ though does come out with a cleaner 100 coin. JJ does still have Canalus to deal with, so we'll see whether he decides to go for a texture setup or just keep it nice and easy with the full setup. Oh, and Heisen falling a little too far before he kicks. So I'm going to take a little backup for that 7th thread there. That 7th thread can actually be more tricky than you might think. I've actually seen Punke take a death in a race to that before. If you land on the Thwomp's head, like the edges of the Thwomp's head are sliding slopes, but the actual top isn't a sliding slope. So it's hard, especially with the camera you normally have there, to figure out where exactly you are in the Thwomp's head to know whether you're going to slide right off or if you'll actually be able to move and jump. Exactly, like with the full route, you can have like a little error that you wouldn't normally expect and still be able to finish out the route as expected. Nice wild blues from both players. A pretty simple star. The main issue with the star actually isn't with collecting it here, it's with accidentally collecting it in the middle of 100 coin. That's honestly more of an issue than anything that really happens when you're just collecting the star on its own. Aside from occasionally you'll see people accidentally dive off of the edge of the stage when they're trying to get the optimal angle for their initial dive. Both players with really optimal movement up to the top of the Womp fight here. And both players getting some nice fights. Once you've grinded this enough, it's a little hard to mess up, but the timing is fairly tight if you want to get an optimal pound. All right, and so now top of the fortress. I don't think either of these players are going to opt for the double jump kick strat that we've seen a couple players like D would ever go for, but let's see. They might surprise us. Yeah, JJ's just going to keep it really consistent with the triple here. And then Heisen as well. Nice and clean. Heisen does have to take the ledge grab, side flipped a little too early, but still finishing the start just fine. So both players pretty similar Womps times. JJ moving a little bit to the right as he exits this room, losing maybe a second. And so now slide X2. Oh, Heisen not getting the side flip he wanted there. So I think JJ's going to get a 12-8 this time, and Heisen's going to keep it clean with the 12-7. Yeah, JJ had a really weird rebound on this one. That actually might be a 13. No, a 12-7. Oh, okay. Commentator obviously not knowing exactly how the slide works. All right, and a nice star grab. 12-6 from Heisen, so still saving that 1/10 of a second over JJ that I predicted. All right, so now players advancing into wing cap stage. This is a very hard stage to learn and master. Once you get to a mastery point, it becomes pretty free overall, but like actually getting your optimal arcs and turns is very difficult. One of the things that's very counterintuitive in going fast is you have to relinquish some of your control. So like when you tilt the stick back, Mario ascends, but Mario will also ascend naturally. And if you always let him ascend naturally and never ascend yourself, you actually have more optimal flying. And so you have to like relinquish that bit of control and instead plan ahead and realize like, okay, I need to dip Mario about this low and then wait for him to ascend himself and not interact with him. Like just relinquishing that little bit of control is a huge skill that takes a lot of time to master. So now both players in Dark World. We're done with flying though for now. I think we fly a little bit more later, but Heisen missing the switch here. Gonna have to move really, really fast throughout the rest of this in order to make Shig. And his elevator cycle here coming up is gonna be really awkward. But JJ's still on very, very clean Shig pace. JJ avoiding Amp Alley, and he's going to be going for Pov Shig movement, and he does hit it, so that is still a Shig cycle. Having to take this like kind of awkward backup here though, because he didn't really get his movement on the moving elevators like he wanted. And so Heisen having to take what looked like normal cycle, that could have still potentially been Shig, but I think that was probably just normal. I didn't actually see. But he seemed to have had clean movement through the rest of the stage, so actually saving a little bit of time on JJ just from the ending. All right, and a nice throw from JJ. Heisen winding it up. Out of the park. Thanks, HEM. And thanks, TGC. All right, so both our players done with Dark World, going to be advancing right on into first bomb clip and then CCM. And so we're almost out of the lobby, just a little bit of awful left to go. CCM is just a very nerve-wracking stage when you're a newer player trying to do the Penguin Race 100 coin. And it just like... Nothing in it is particularly fun if you don't make good decisions in what stars you do and how you do them. JJ with a nice sky jump here. Having a little issue going up the slope, which Heisen will save some time on here. But overall, their triple jumps and their actual flights were just fine, so JJ not losing too much of his lead. Alright, so JJ advancing into CCM. We've seen all sorts of different routes to start this. We've seen some people start with wall kicks will work, some people with the penguin delivery star, and then a few people actually with the slide skip. It's all up to these players what exactly they decide to do. And JJ going with penguin first. Nope, slide skip first. And already confirming for us that he's going to be moving on with the CCM 18 route. And Heisen with the same. Interesting. And a nice clean beginner moonwalk from JJ. Heisen with the pro moonwalk. I felt bad calling JJ's a beginner moonwalk, but in comparison to Heisen's, like with the way JJ did that moonwalk, all you really have to do is hold right, and like the wall will guide Mario in pretty much the right direction. But you hold back and then right. But with Heisen's, you actually have to hit a fairly particular position to make sure that you're actually sliding exactly to the door. So by comparison, the strat JJ did, although it's very, very consistent, it's also like very easy. Yeah, exactly. Like you don't really have to do the pro moonwalk. Like it doesn't save very much time at all. And JJ gonna pick up the penguin real quick. All right, now Heisen getting started with 100 coin here. Saving wall kicks will work for last. Kind of an interesting choice. Let's see, I don't think he goes for the safety red. But in a race, it's not really uncommon to see people decide to go for it. So with the current coin count that Heisen... And Heisen didn't like his speed there on the rollout. He was pretty sure that he was going to miss a coin on the entry. So you saw he actually like kind of slowed down there so he could just go ahead and get a full jump and make sure he didn't miss a coin. So during this entire slide, you can only miss one coin with the coin count he entered with. And if you miss more than one, then you can't spawn the 100 coin star in here. And the penguin star only spawns in here. So you have to choose which one of the two stars you want to collect. The most optimal backup in that situation is to actually collect the 100 coin star outside and collect the red coin star, just collect the rest of the reds in the stage. But oftentimes you'll see a runner just have to go ahead and redo the penguin race, and that ends up losing a minute. So Heisen is totally safe from that, though. He got down with perfect coin count and was able to just skip one of the really quick ones on the end. And JJ will be able to do the same. No real issues here. So it's good to see both players able to just continue without this being an issue at all. JJ taking a very laggy camera here for basically no reason. I mean, you always spawn the star about in the middle of the slide, and you just have to wait a little tick for the penguin to come through and then just long jump from there, and you're just holding straight back. So you may as well save the lag from just using the kind of crappy camera, because it doesn't really matter that the camera's bad. It's a very easy thing to aim for the star, at least in my opinion, but I don't know, JJ might have some specific reason for using that cam. So now both players headed over into BBH. No real issues in CCM. I just had to take care of wall kicks will work real quick. And so we're just going to grab 2 stars from Benny's Brewhouse and then make our way down to the basement. All right, so JJ opting to start with the bookcase star and executing it very cleanly. Heisen going for Boo first. And let's see how the actual fight goes. That was a long jump instead of a ground pound. Taking a couple quick bounces, showing off that Boo has the widest hitbox ever of any enemy in this game. Heisen's got the star now, at least. And let's see if JJ has a little bit better luck with the Boo. Okay, he's got the ground pound instead of a ledge grab. Or, sorry, a long jump. And so Heisen now going for bookcase, but JJ already finished with the stage, moving on to SSL. So JJ and Heisen both only have to do pillarless 1 time, not twice. But this still can present issues. If pillarless just is not cooperating, you can still lose a hearty amount of time on just having to do 1+. So we'll just have to see what happens here. But first we got to pick up a rabbit real quick. And one thing in 70 that isn't really talked about a whole lot is on English, the MIPS rabbit moves a little slower at first in just the English version. So in the Japanese version, both the 15-star and 50-star MIPS will move at the same speed as the English 50-star, but the English 15-star moves slower. And that actually makes the movement a little more awkward because you have to purposely lose a little more time on your movement towards MIPS. Otherwise, you do risk like diving right in front of him because he just isn't running as fast away from you. A very nice plus from JJ, but Heisen having to drop the bomb. And this could be a little bit worrisome for Heisen. This is where the nerves really start piling up. When you miss a trick like that and know that your success rate isn't entirely consistent with it. Heisen is able to do this nice Talon backup, though. And so he's not losing too much time just yet, but definitely wants this second attempt to go. All right, so Heisen not jumping with the bomb throw. He's still got one more backup, though, but after missing the triple jump there, triple just getting eaten. Nice thinking there. He knows he's respawned the bomb from how far he's moved, and so he's going to try for another grab, but it doesn't quite work out. Going to go for the triple here. And just grab his backup star. Having a lot of issues with the pyramid. Like, just the pyramid is an enigma for Heisen right now. It's like the mind-infecting stone from Dead Space or something. It's gotten into his head. It's forcing him not to jump when he's trying to jump and throw the bomb. It's forcing him to be unable to triple jump up it with speed. And Heisen got the throw finally, but he wasn't able to get the grab. Grabbing a little bit late and not spawning the bomb even though he's got the camera facing right at it. And still not getting, just trying to throw a little bit late. I think Heisen's going for the shell movement here. Yep. Plus is very tricky. At best, at its most lenient, which makes the strat a lot harder, you have 2 frames to get that bomb grab that Heisen failed twice. The real best case scenario where the movement isn't quite as bad after, you have 1 frame to grab the bomb. but you can make the trick work if you grab the bomb a frame earlier. So the tricky part there is you're trying to grab the bomb in the middle of its explosion animation, which lasts 3 frames. The first, the bomb isn't very much bigger than normal. The second, it's decently bigger. And the third, it's way bigger than normal. And then after those 3 frames, it explodes and you can't grab it. It just hurts Mario. And so, and you want to have that biggest bomb in your hands during Plus. But both players now beyond SSL. Heisen did have to take the shell, take the L, but ultimately not too bad. He's definitely still in this race. He's hurting in basement, that's for sure, but upstairs can be a totally different mistress as we've seen before. Exactly, like it's still a race. And I realize now what your username is actually supposed to be. It's not just an I replaced with a 1. It's actually something different. All right, JJ going for triple bullies here. This ground mount can be a little bit difficult to time, but he's got it. Nice. All 3 just going right into the lava. All right, now Heisen also approaching the bully zone. And he's going for the triple as well. A nicely timed pound. You could see he wasn't quite sure that they were going to go in. Oh, Big Bully almost getting its revenge, but not quite. As JJ now with the Big Bully kill. And learning how to time this long jump can also be tricky. Because if you time it a bit later too early, you can actually end up ledge grabbing on more of the falling platforms, and it will fall with you ledge grabbed on it and make you burn. HTM, there are a number of things that are a bit different about the BOB bomb clip. The first is that if you pay very close attention, you'll see that the SSL bomb clip, to just call it that for a sec, you just jump and throw right from a standstill, whereas in BOB, you do a kick and then a jump throw. In BOB, that kick and then jump throw actually makes the timing easier. Also in BOB, a medium or a big bomb works just fine for bomb clip. There's really no difference aside from the speed, which saves like maybe a quarter to half a second, so not very much at all. Whereas with pillarless, getting medium bomb drastically changes the strat and makes it slower. Like if you get medium bomb plus first try, it's about the same time loss as missing, like not getting the bomb grab, doing a backup start, and then doing large bomb plus on your second attempt just fine. So, like, first off, like you don't have the frame leniency that you would on the BOB bomb clip, where like either frame really doesn't matter. But the other factor is the fact that because SSL's sand impedes Mario's movement, you're having to do the jump throw from a standstill, which makes the timing on the regrab a lot more awkward. So that's the big reason why it's harder. Plus, like, there's also a lot more to the trick since you have to also then do that jump dive off the slope for the regrab. Like, that part gets very technical, but it's not quite as precise in terms of like frame perfect precision. But the stick movement you have to do there and the button inputs are still precise. And there are also a lot of rules as to how Mario can move. So like, for instance, if you're sliding along the ground in like a normal sliding state during pillarless and you touch the stick, the bomb will explode. But when Mario is sliding up a slope, it won't explode. There's like a lot of weird little quirks that you have to know in order to just not kill Mario in the middle of the trick accidentally. Anyway, though, we're still talking about a stage 2 stages ago. We're now in DDD. JJ moving on over to the chest with rear sub real quick for us. As Heisen getting on through the chest star, about to join JJ on his magical sub adventure. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, the TLDR or the like 5-year-old explanation is just plus is like a very advanced bomb clip. Like if after you did bomb clip, you then had to do diet carpetless. I don't know, something like that. It's like fourth dimensional bomb clip. JJ with the manta ray, getting all 5 rings nice and clean. Taking a lot of lag just direct viewing that vortex though. All right, now Heisen also with rear sub as JJ moves on into Fire C. Let's see if JJ is going to create a potential time save point for Heisen, or if it'll end up just making Heisen have to answer for a really serious time save. So JJ's lava boost looks pretty decent so far. He grabbed a little low on that pole, but I don't think it's going to cause a huge issue. He's going with that kind of new ledge grab on the cage movement. That is, I think, the only time in this whole run you will see a runner like grab on top of a hand cage like that. That's tech that you just don't see. Just because it's so slow. When Mario tries to like move on the monkey bars like that, like it's extremely slow. I do not play old school RuneScape. I just never got into it. JJ with a very clean lava boost and good ending. And nice ledge grab skip there. Like, the only thing in that entire Fire C really was just that little weird turn grabbing the star. And that didn't lose anywhere near, like, even a full second, really. Like, it just, that was nothing. So Heisen's gonna have a lot to answer for in this stage. But it looks like answer he will. Grabbing a little bit higher on the pole. And you see Heisen going for that little... Oh, getting a ledge grab instead of a second wall kick. That's going to get a major... that's going to be a major hindrance. Let's see. Should still be able to get early Ellies, though. And so you see he's just going to go for that instead. He is losing some time over JJ already, but not quite the full 15, 20 seconds yet. You like carpetless classic. No, new carpetless for you. And so Heisen just having to go with bad ending here, but still got early Ellies at least. Still like able to kind of save the mistake. And that was a really just, that's the type of stuff that happens in Fire C. A really minor thing ends up losing you 20 seconds just because of what stage it is. But JJ moving on into Wet Dry World. Let's see. He's going to go ahead and start actually with... Oh, he's starting with 100 coin. Just wait a little bit to change the camera around. Not going for double box break. I believe Heisen will. We'll just have to see what his camera setup is. JJ just kicking the spider. You ever just kill a spider by kicking on it? Have you ever referred to kicking a thing as kicking on it? Because now I have. I can't say I haven't anymore. But, like, I don't know. I just feel like kicking a spider is a really metal way to kill a spider. Like, imagine being, like, a pest control expert and you just kick spiders for a living. JJ, pretty nice progression through 100 coins so far. Gets the secret star spawn with no real issue. Nice movement on the stairs. Able to just skip right over that Chucky coin. He's already got his 95. Alright, Heisen having a little bit of an issue with double box break. And so he's probably not going to be able to kick the spider. Just reset now. Not really a point in continuing the run when you're unable to kick the spider. Nope, still, he's going to jump on the spider after a kick. That like half counts. Alright, so Heisen just having really bad luck with a lot of these coin spawns. Alright, JJ moving on up the stairs. It's kind of funny that you have to take some stairs and then jump down and then skip over an elevator back up to where you took the stairs to. 0.5x kick spider, yep. And what is funny is he was probably still holding A like in the middle of the bounce there. Okay, so JJ now with shocking arrow lifts. The most shocking part of the star is how you don't even use the aerolifts. What is my stance on 0.5 A presses? An A press is an A press. You can't say it's only half. Well now, TJ Henry Yoshi. Like, if you play this game, it makes a lot more sense. It makes a ton of sense what he's talking about. Like, you'll hear runners talk about buffering a kick, and what that means is there's certain actions that Mario can only do if he's jumped beforehand, but what the game looks at to think if he's jumped beforehand is mainly whether or not you're still holding the A button. So when you press B, like on the ground without a ton of speed, you'll punch, but if you're holding A, you'll kick. And that's intended to be used so that Mario kicks when you're already in the air. And like, if you're already in the air and you're not holding A, Mario will still kick. But it also just so happens that if you're holding A, no matter what, he'll kick. And that includes if you jump and then continue to hold A while you're still on the ground. So like, because there's a specific class of actions that only require you hold A, it makes sense to have a different notation for them than for like when you want to press A for a jump. I don't know why I'm talking about this. JJ had some pretty nice secrets. Let's focus on the run. And Heisen had a pretty nice top of the town. But now we have to talk about parallel universes. You never forget your first time seeing that video and realizing just how broken this game and video games generally can be. Okay, JJ, top. Not going for the mountain clip there, just opting for the movement around. Heisen now done with shocking aerolifts. Not sure what exactly took him so long. He must have had a pretty big time loss in What Dry World. I just didn't see what it was. Or that, I guess that could still be the SSL time loss showing itself, but it looks like now he's another star behind. I guess the stars in THR are just that short. Well, having a bit of an issue on secrets. He got the third secret though, so at least he's not having to take an awkward back up there. Alright, now JJ collecting the Piranha Star, marking the end of this nightmare. He's out of the horrid stage, the horrible island. Moving on over to a horrible mountain instead. But first gonna talk to Toad. So, one thing that might look a bit odd is that JJ like circles around Toad to talk to him. First off, when you enter a room that a Toad is in, you have to wait a little bit for the Toad to become completely opaque so that he'll talk to you. And so it doesn't really waste any time to do that quick turnaround before you talk to him, since he already can't talk to you until the time has passed during that turnaround. But also, talking to him from that angle causes the camera to shift in a way that reduces lag. So it's on purpose that runners will take that weird route to get to him. So JJ, starting with mountain clip stars, gets the behind the waterfall star pretty easily, having to take 2 wall kicks and some kind of weird backup movement up the actual mountain. All right, now Heisen going for the mountain clip, and he gets it. The island clip, as it were. This isn't a mountain. JJ, nice log wall kick. Perfect firstie log wall kick. Normally, when you get a firstie on log wall kick, you actually lose a bit of time because you don't get your lineup for the next triple jump with your ledge grab. But the way JJ just got that firstie and skipped the ledge grab, he was able to like have his instant lineup already. So he saved maximum time with that firstie. That was a really, really clean top of the mountain star. It's now coming up with, it's going to be reds now. All right, pretty clean reds from JJ. Heisen can save a little bit of time with some advanced strats, but overall JJ's not really leaving a lot on the table there. Only 80 channel points, yep. Alright, so now JJ is moving on over to Mushroom, as Heisen is going to triple his way up one last time here. JJ with a really nice breeze start there. He was able to navigate himself out of the breeze at like just the right time. One way you can lose time there is if you don't start moving Mario out of the breeze quickly enough. The breeze extends really high, so you can gain way more height than you actually need to clear up to the top of the mountain there. How Onyx is it with you? I'm sorry, I don't quite understand the question. Oh, JJ with a big old bonk trying to get to the top of the snowman's head. Just gonna have to long jump and do this back up instead. Oh, I don't think he was expecting the momentum off the slope, and that almost did him good, but not quite. Oh, do they really pay us? Well, I mean, yeah, like they literally gift a sub to people, so like they're paying for a full sub, and like they will really gift you a sub. You get 500 Onyx, you will actually get a sub to any Twitch stream of your choice, which we know the very obvious choice is the only Twitch stream with 24/7 speedrun content. Yeah, that's us. JJ still missing that wall kick, but at least he's in a position to do a really quick backup. Do we get something from it? We get the same thing. If you're talking about like what you get from it, like you get to play cool mobile games and you're able to get a sub and other goodies like with Onyx. And I'm not sure what else exactly you could spend Onyx on, but you can spend 500 for a sub and then save up 500 more for another month of sub. Like I'm sorry that I don't understand like the further question. Yeah, Shiloh, if Simply streams 24/7 speedrun content, then give your Onyx sub to him. JJ clearing out Deep Freeze, and with that, the whole stage of Snowman's Land. As Heisen just gets started, but fortunately not having as much of an issue with top of Snowman's head. But Heisen does have a bit of an issue with roll from the freezing pond. And so having to do that quick little kicking back up there. Oh, Hunter, you'd have to ask someone higher up. I don't believe that we do, but I wasn't the one that like signed the contract or had the negotiation, so I don't know. I don't believe so though. I think it's literally just that like you can redeem Onyx for subs. I think that's it, and like our payment is like that sub payment. There might be like some additional small thing like just for having Onyx on the channel. I'm not really certain about it though. I would ask someone else. JJ clearing out the starter basement, heading on into HMC. As Heisen just has one last quick start in SL. Oh, JJ having to take a quick ledge grab there. See, Steve, you said not true, but you kind of inclusive ordered me, and you didn't say which part of what I said wasn't true. Because I just said I wasn't sure and to ask someone else. Is it not true that they should ask someone else? Oh, okay, I see. JJ having a little bit of an unfortunate luck hitting that scuttlebug. So one thing real quick, earlier I talked about how like a Thwomp's head has slidable slopes and non-slidable. The pit in HMC is really weird because each polygon that makes the pit, like there's a lot of them that are slidable slopes, but there's some that aren't. So the one JJ landed on there is a slidable slope, and you saw he started sliding right down it. The polygon directly to the left is not slidable. Like if you fall on it in such a way that you start already sliding, then like you will slide down it. But just the act of standing on it doesn't make Mario slide down it. So it's really weird. It's just that the fact that some of the polygons are over that angle threshold and some aren't. So if you want to see one really weird example of like slidable versus non-slidable slopes, go to the pit in HMC and just try to stand on each polygon, and you'll see like some of them you can stand on, and it's really strange at first. Now Heisen with box triple here. Very clean. He picks up the star on the rollout. A little bit less optimal than the dive, but still pretty good. JJ with some nice boulder action. And Heisen also with some nice boulder action. JJ thought he had one more star in HMC, but realized quickly enough that he didn't, so going ahead and exiting course now. It's a good thing he didn't panic pause, because like when you're off the ground, you can't actually exit course with a pause. As I'm sure many of us traumatically remember from every time we tried to exit course when we fell off the stage as a kid. Okay, so Heisen having to do a quick side flip back up for Christmas Miracle. But the ground pound does manage to connect afterwards. A lot of times when you do a side flip back up, you see people don't actually manage to hit the switch. All right. JJ, very nice Lakitu bounce, even finishing off with those beautiful wall kicks at the end. As Heisen just needs one last star from HMC, but then he'll be making his way up to join JJ. JJ's got one bit of difficulty out of the way, but there's still plenty more in Rainbow Ride. So now JJ going through reds and some pretty nice movement throughout. Now Heisen is also in Tippy. This race is still close enough that a TTC meltdown could definitely swing this in Heisen's favor. Alright, so JJ just playing it quick and easy with the right side tricky triangles here. Nice movement. As Heisen just barely misses the Lakitu, needed to be a little bit further to his left. But just moving right on into reds, not making a big deal out of it. A smart play. Alright. JJ now moving on through. Oh! Was trying to do swinging in the breeze. Decided to go for that. I think he missed the long jump. The Z press didn't register or something, so he had to go with that kick. And then just didn't quite move on through. Oh, JJ not able to turn around these platforms. But he finally gets his backup triple after a lot of heartache. So that's a little bit of time loss that Heisen can definitely capitalize on. Especially now that he's hit his Lakitu bounce. Oh, Heisen's kick doesn't quite connect, but he does stay on the upper area. So that's probably losing about as much, maybe a little bit more than what JJ just lost on his star. So it's a 2-star game at this point. JJ trying to get up to the midsection of this clock here. Gets the firstie, able to just soar his way right into the hole there. As Heisen going for left side tricky triangles, saving a little bit of time over JJ. Oh, but loses that little bit of time to that kind of awkward backup that he had to take in the middle of the triangles. JJ with some time moving triples here. First one is good. Missing any of these causes some major time loss. All right, Heisen was swinging. He gets the long jump, not having to do the jump and kick like JJ did. All right, nice swinging in the breeze from Heisen. JJ, second time moving triple, this time moving on over to get a hand. Just has one more time moving triple, but 100 coins still looming over the horizon for JJ. And Heisenburger does not have to worry about it at all. Because he's doing it now. I don't know why I said that. He doesn't have to worry about it if he does well. He might have to worry a little bit. Just a little bit. JJ now dealing with his 100 coin himself. Kind of an interesting choice to delay it as long as he did, but still do it right in the middle of the stage like this. You don't see this too often. But we are going to see a pretty close 100 coin battle from these two players. Heisen does advance past that point of death on that first one. Skips the ledge grab there. Overall, a cleaner 100 coin than what JJ's putting forth. Now see, if I say things like that, that means JJ will play very consistently through Tippy. But if I say that, then JJ has a chance of failing. So we'll see. A little bit of a freeze on Heisen's side. We're going to get that gameplay back for you as soon as possible. JJ dropping a couple seconds here and there through 100 coin, but nothing super major. Heisen, oh, the ledge grab that saved his life there. And so, okay, Heisen definitely losing a little bit more time on the whole 100 coin. All right, and Heisen is done as JJ nearly done with the clock as a whole. JJ's third time moving triple works just fine. Oh, but JJ falls into this lower hole. He's just going to have to back this up by moving all the way up the clock again. This is still fine. He's got the time to lose, but not much more than that. Oh, and falling off the platform again. And then a death. So not even getting anything out of this trip. And so he's going to just convert this into a time stop entry. You have to move very, very snappy in order to make sure you get a time moving entry after a death. Because the clock is actually at a different point on the cycle. So if you think of like the star select or the high score animation after you get a star, the whole level around you in the castle freezes in time when the actual like save and continue prompt comes up. But when you die, the time around you just keeps on moving. So, like, the clock is actually at a different point in its cycle when you die and gain movement over Mario versus when you just come out of the clock after getting a star normally. So you have to take that into consideration for your re-entry, depending on like what stars you have left. You have to do a really quick, snappy re-entry after a death if you only have time moving left, whereas you have to waste just a little bit of time to get a time stop otherwise. But JJ, through those little flubs, though, is now done with TTC, while Heisen does still have 2 more stars remaining. And so it's looking like JJ's got a pretty good shot at winning this one out, but there is still one more stage left to go. And Heisen is making some really nice progress towards the time jumps on moving bars. JJ getting a pretty nice start to his movement. Is Heisen just going to clean up reds real quick? JJ's approaching the wood blocks here. Heisen's got reds in his hand, moving left side from JJ, and it is good. Just needs to get up these last elevators. Kind of awkward, but does manage to take the ledge grab and take the second ledge grab. He's on the final platform now. Very nice triple, and he's in the Bowser fight. 3 throws to win it all. He's got a very comfortable lead, can definitely miss 2 to 3 easily and still be able to take this. And that is a first hit. A little bit to the left, but still definitely fine. And that's also going to be a hit. So JJ's going to have to miss this 3 times in a row to give Heisen a chance, but that's going to be it. JJ finishing out with a mid-50. GG's to JJ. Our record is 47.08 by D whatever. So a nice run from JJ, 50-21. Not a bad time at all. Heisen very, very close to the finish line as well. Likely going to be finishing just over. Which, like, oh, Heisen having to just double back on this elevator movement here. Tried to skip a few platform cycles, but ended up having to just take an extra one instead. I mean, if you think about it, though, like, this is about the time loss that Heisen had at the start of Fire C, so this really was a good tippy, like, if the race would have started at tippy, these guys would have been virtually tied. So, you know, it's definitely a nice performance from Heisenburger. Just like some unfortunate mistakes. Heisen gets his throw now. Missed the first try. The second throw, and with the pickup here, aiming for the third. GG's to Heisen, finishing it out with a higher 51. Not quite the Bowser fight that he was hoping for, unfortunately, but it's just the way she goes sometimes. GG's to both of these runners for some pretty nice performances, and especially, you know, given the mistakes that both these guys made at different points in the run, they really didn't let the mistake get to their head too much. Like their gameplay was pretty consistent the whole way through. And there are definitely a lot of high points throughout both of these runs, so I'm sure both runners can walk away decently happy, especially with all the points that both of them will be getting. Heisen with a nice chunk of points, given that he only finished about a minute and a half behind JJ, and then JJ, of course, with that nice boost of at least 60. Well, that is our second to last match of the evening, but don't go anywhere, folks. We've got one more in the books for you. Proto Man versus Guy Knight, and that'll be coming up right after this, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
They are synced. They are synced now. Do whatever. In the lead again.
Wow.
Side for sure from Cheese. Okay, doing it moving.
Oh no, the Cheese falls!
Cheese